Hi, Dyslexic Genius here. I'm back on the tune-up of the Edison spring motor, and we're almost done with it. And this is to be the final assembly before you put a belt on it and set all the timing. Now that we have the mandrel shaft and everything in, we need to put the pulley in. We need to adjust the half nut to the lead screw height, and this will make this extremely easy. So what you're going to do is you'll unlock the carriage, open this up. See how I'm using my fingers? We'll just slide the mandrel shaft back a little. We will put the screw here, I've pre-oiled that holds the pulley in place. We're going to put it this way so the pulley's in the back. Move the bearing out of the way, come down and miss this little piece. This is the stop for when you open the in gate and the carriage kind of moves. This is the stop. We'll do that in the last. We'll come back in, slide that in till it about is flush right there. Now we will tighten that down. We'll push the bearing in. And now we will close the end gate. Now what we're going to do, you see how I left all this loose? We're going to pull the mandrel right about there. You have to have the pulley aligned with the slot down here, so the belt will run. Now we will tighten that up. Okay. We'll open the in gate. We'll open this up. We'll pull this back. We will take our little screwdriver and a little bit of oil, and we will put it on the end of the bearing right here. We'll paint that little bearing right there with some oil, sewing machine oil. We'll come over to the end gate and do the other end bearing the same way. We'll paint the end right here like that. Now we will put that in, close the end gate, crank this in. Push the bearing in. Now we're adjusting everything in place. Back this out just a pair. Okay, now we're going to lock this one down. Now that we've oiled everything, the only adjustment will be in the end gate. So now we spin it, and it kind of slows down there. It sticks a little. So we're going to take our finger and this screw, we're just going to give it a little, watch the slot, and just a little back there. You see how that runs smoother now? We just, perfect. And now we set the mandrel shaft. You saw how I kind of play with this back screw. You just keep whipping the mandrel like this till you get it, it'll spin, it's freely spinning, and all the adjustment here. If you crank this in this way, this bearing in this way, it will slow the machine down. If you crank it out, it sets it. Now, what we have to do is set the half nut to the carriage. Well, let me show you the coolest trick in the world with these. You see this bar right here coming out? This piece right here? We're going to take that out because we need to oil it. And somewhere in this life, somebody grabbed it with a pair of pliers. You see that?
And we don't do that.
And we don't do that. We're going to coat it. We're going to do the little coat with oil. And this keeps the oil down on the machine. You don't need a lot of oil on phonographs. And on the threads, you want to have a little. Now I'm going to show you the coolest trick in the world about these and Triumphs. We're going to leave that loose. Now watch this. You grab this part of the carriage, and that just twists up. Now we take a piece of computer paper, notebook paper, anything like that. We're going to put the machine, we're going to put it in play position. We're going to bring this over, set this down like that. And now what we're going to do, we're just going to bring this gently down. Here, now we're going to give it a little more. Now what we're going to do is we're going to tighten this back nut screw that I talked about. Lift the carriage up. Needs a little more. Okay, so what we're going to do, this is easier than an early Edison home where you have to bend the spring. Put the paper back in, lift the carriage up, and then just see how that came in there now? Need to come down just a little more. Give it a couple of spins. There we go. And the carriage is moving, and we've set the half nut and everything. All we have to do now is put a belt on it, set the timing, and you're ready to rock and roll. And that's my tip for the day.